guy in here.
Yes, Brian. You're a Terptective now.
What are we doing here?
I'm afraid we might have missed something at the crime scene, so I need the two of you to go over him with a fine-tooth comb. So, Colin.
Thank you.
Brian, I need for you to look over the dead body for a while.
Why does he get the big one?
You can't handle the big one.
It's not the size that matters anyways.
That's just something that people with small lenses tell themselves.
Well then.
None of this makes sense.
What's wrong with you?
None of the RFLP make any sense. Look, that's Brian's, it worked fine. These are all the suspects. Look, all of that worked fine. But look, this is the results from the blood that we collected, and it didn't even work.
That's impossible.
I know, it's totally impossible. I have no idea what happened. And I know the test ran fine. Look, that's the control, it worked okay.
Have you taken a look at the blood?
Well, I didn't take a look at the blood because somebody, that would be you, took the day off when we collected the specimens, and that's your job.
Well, I'm here now. Should we take a look now?
Well, maybe you should take a look at the blood and see what happened. See if the blood's okay. Because none of this makes sense.
Huh. This blood is nucleated.
What?
Yeah, I think this is fish blood.
Oh no, a red herring. So essentially, we have nothing, right? Ugh. Can we try not to kill me? So we have nothing, right? We have RFLP results, which are nothing. We have PCR that didn't show us anything. Oh, doctor, the autopsy's done?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
no
pretty
problems?
Interesting things, yeah.
Yeah.
The wet aging on that tenderloin?
Yeah.
Magnificent.
Thank God. Well, I thought you'd find him a prime choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Did
Hey, it was a score, wasn't it?
Did any of you see the fava beans I left in the fridge? No?
I think somebody else might have eaten them, but
No.
no.
All right.
My group is not very thoughtful.
Oh,
Okay.
well, anyway,
All right.
I was hoping to have it with some nice Chianti.
Well,
Yeah,
you know.
So, what I found was that Brian didn't actually die of a blunt force trauma.
Well, we didn't figure he did because we never found any blunt trauma in his face or body.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you don't get hit. But what I did find, he died of toxemia.
What?
I said he died of toxemia.
Oh.
I've brought the three of you here today because I got some interesting news from the coroner. Brian Fleming did not die from blunt force trauma. Do you know what he died of? He died of toxemia. All three of you have taught microbiology here. Do you know what causes toxemia, Catherine?
LPS.
LPS. Where do you find LPS, Rahul?
Gram-negative organisms.
Gram-negative organisms. Isn't that interesting? And what do all three of you work on? Aaron?
E. coli?
E. coli. Isn't that interesting? What's really interesting is that of all the graduate students that worked in this office, and of all the graduate students who had a problem with Brian Fleming, only the three of you worked on E. coli. And the three of you also worked on E. coli with a very interesting plasmids.
Catherine! Rahul!
Isn't that interesting? The really interesting part is that all three of you worked on different plasmids. Different plasmids with different restriction enzyme sites. Right now, as we speak, Terptectives in my lab are doing restriction mapping on the plasmid that we isolated from Brian Fleming's blood. By the end of the day, we will have a restriction map of that plasmid, and I will know whether it was Rahul or Catherine or Aaron who injected Brian Fleming with a lethal dose of E. coli that brought about his death. I think the guilty party here, only a TA had a key to this room. Only one of you TAs had access to Brian and killed him. I think it was one of the three of you. My advice to you, the guilty party should get their affairs in order. There will be an arrest today.
Will the murderer be Aaron, Catherine, or Rahul?
Okay, Christy, we're going to have to create these restriction maps. So I think the easiest thing for us to do is going to be able to create the information from the gels that you have, and we're going to put it on this board, and then we're going to work from there, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I've set up this system to help us try to figure this out easily. So the first thing I need, we know that these are all 10 kb circular plasmids, right?
Right.
All right, so the first thing I want to know is from the Echo R1 digest, we're going to start with the plasmid that Aaron works with. So what happened when we cut it with Echo R1?
It only cuts it once.
It only cuts it once, so that means we had a 10 kb piece, right?
That's correct.
So when we cut it once, if I look at these and I add all of this up, 4, 6, 8, 10, I just got a 10 kb piece, so I'm going to put that there.
All right.
All right. Okay, what happened when you cut it with SAC?
It only cuts it one again.
Really? So it's another 10 kb piece, huh?
Yep.
All right, so I'm just going to count it out and make sure we got it right. It's another 10 kb piece. So what happened with the PIS digest?
Well, it cut it 3 times, so we have a 2 kb piece.
All right, let me pull that out. So we had a 2 kb piece. All right.
A 3 kb piece.
Really? All right. And then you had a 5 kb piece, I
And
take.
a 5 kb piece.
All right. Well, that's interesting. So it looks like the only way we're going to be able to do this is to do some double digests, right?
Looks like it.
All right. Let's put some stuff up. Let's see what happens with that. So for the first double digest, why don't we do an Echo and SAC digest?
Good idea.
Okay, what information did you get from that one?
Well, since each one cut it once, we have 2 5 kb pieces.
We got 2 5 kb pieces. So that's very interesting. What do you think that tells you?
Well, I'm assuming since both are of equal size, they must be on opposite sides of the plasmid.
And you'd be right. Okay, what happened when you digest with just Echo and PIST?
Well, something really interesting happened.
Okay.
I got a 1 kb piece,
Really? Okay.
a 2 kb piece,
Okay. So 2 kb piece. All right.
a 3 kb piece,
Really? All
and
right.
a 4 kb piece.
That's very interesting. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Well, that's really interesting. So with PIST we had a 2, a 3, and a 5, right?
Right.
And so with Echo we had what? Just the 10. That's very interesting. All right, Chrissy, what did you see when you did the Echo plus the SAC plus the PIST?
Well, I must have done something wrong because I only got a 1 kb piece, a 3 kb piece, and a 4 kb piece. And that doesn't add up to 10.
No, it doesn't. Did any of the bands look really big?
Well, the 1 kb was kind of big.
You know what that means, don't you?
What does it mean?
It means that the 1 kb piece is probably more than one 1 kb piece.
Ugh.
So it probably means we have several 1 kb pieces. So if we had a 4 kb piece and a 3 kb piece, how many 1 kb pieces do you think we had?
3.
And that would be right. So I think we have all the information we need now to do our map. Okay, well this is actually very easy to map, Christy, and I'm going to show you how. Alright, so we know that there's one echo or one digest. And the echo plus sac digest shows us that the echo and sac are on opposite ends. So here's my sac cut. And notice how I'm using the colors to show us this. The pis digest tells us two things. It tells us that there are 3 pis digests. Now the pis and the echo digest tells us that there are the 3 and the 2 kb pieces are not cut by the echo R1 site, but the 5 kb piece is cut by the echo R1 site. And so from this I can guess that the echo R1 site will cut here or here. Alright, now because this is essentially the same, this is a mirror image, I can pick either one of these. I'm just going to pick this one for the time being and say that. Alright, so right now I've said that this gives me my 1 kb and then my 4 kb pis sites here and here. And so all I have to do now is find out where my pis digest gives me a 2 kb fragment and a 3 kb fragment. Alright, which means it could either be here and then this would be my 2 kb pis sites and this would be my 3 kb fragment. Or if that was where the 2, that would be where one site is. Or it could be here and that would be my 3 and then this would be my 2. The problem with putting my pis digest here is that if I stop now, I have to look at this overall digest here. And I don't end up with 3 1 kb pieces if I pick that for my 3rd pis digest. But if I put it here, then when I look at my overall digest, when all of these sites are cut, I have 1, 2, 3 1 kb pieces. I have a 3 kb piece here, and I have the 4 kb piece here. So this is my restriction map for Erin's plasmid. Okay, Christy, we finished with Erin's restriction map for her plasmid PEW, and it looks pretty good. I think we're going to get some, I think we'll be able to distinguish between all 3 plasmids this way. So let's start on the plasmid that Catherine has been working with. Do you have the results from the echo digest?
I do.
And what happened?
It only cut it once.
So we have a 10 kb fragment?
That's right.
Alright, so that just cut it once, and that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. So let's just put that thing there so it looks exactly like Erin's plasmid with just the echo digest.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're looking at Catherine's plasmid with the sac digest. What happened there?
Only cut it once again.
Same thing then, I guess. So we're looking at, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a 10 kb fragment again. Alright, Christy, what happened when we digested it with pis 1?
Well, it looks like we have a 2 kb piece, a 3 kb piece, and a 5 kb piece.
So we cut it once and we get a 2 kb piece. And we cut it again and we get a 3 kb piece. That's 3 and that's 2, and then what's left is this 5 kb piece. You know, it's really interesting. That's the same thing we saw with Erin's. I wonder if they both started with the same plasmid, but they've manipulated them in different ways. I think this is going to be very interesting. I wonder how much they've changed the plasmids as they've both been doing their graduate work. Okay, so when we put the echo in with the sac, what happened with Catherine's plasmid?
Well, it looks like we have a 2 kb piece and an 8 kb piece.
Oh, so now we actually see a difference, don't we? If we cut up a 2 kb piece, so we see the 2 kb fragment and an 8 kb fragment. Well, look at this. With Erin's, we saw 2 5 kb fragments. So what this tells us is now we will be able to tell the difference between Aaron's plasmid and Catherine's plasmid just by doing that digest. So that's very interesting. Okay, so what happens when we cut it with echo and pis together?
Well, it looks like we have a 1 kb piece, a 2 kb piece, a 3 kb piece, and a 4 kb piece.
Wow. So here's our 1 kb piece, and then I'm just going to pretend this is the 2 kb piece. And then if I put another digest there, so let's look at this. I have a 1 kb piece, a 2 kb piece, a 3 kb piece, and a 4 kb piece. So I'm just randomly assigning those sites to make sure that I see that I have 4 different cuts. 1, that'll be my 4, that'll be my 3, that'll be my 2, this one will be my 1. So notice how this one and this one look exactly the same, which is pretty interesting. But it's my sac and my echo that still allow me to differentiate between the two. So what happens when we put all 3 enzymes in together?
Well, it looks like we have a really thick 1 kb band,
Okay.
a 3 kb band, and a 4 kb band.
So if we do that 3 kb band and the 4 kb band, we probably have the same thing that happened before. We have those 3 1 kb bands.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what that probably tells us is that we had the same thing before, and the big difference between Catherine's and Aaron's is where that sac digest is. Okay, so we probably have the same thing that we saw before. The 3 sac sites, the 3, and the 4.
Dr. Shields, I have really bad news.
What?
It looks like the Echo R1, SAC1, and PIST1 sites for Rahul's are exactly the same.
This is exactly the same as both Aaron's and Catherine's?
Yeah.
All right, let me go ahead and put it together.
Okay, it looks like for Rahul, the Echo and SAC digest had a 2 kb piece and an 8 kb piece.
Man, it's still looking like Catherine's, isn't it? Okay, I'll put it on.
Okay, for the next one, which would be Echo and PIST, it looks like we have another 1, 2, 3, 4.
Again?
Again.
Oh, this is not looking good. Let's go ahead and put it in. Hey, Christy, give me some good news about this triple digest.
I got some good news.
Oh, that's great.
A 1.
A 1 kb piece.
A 2.
A 2.
A 3.
A 3.
And that's it.
I certainly hope you have a big band in one of those fragments.
I do.
Which one has a big band?
2.
How big a band? A really big band?
A really big band.
So it must have more than 1. I guess it has 3. And we'll have to look at that very closely. So if it has 3 big bands, that would be 6, and then everything would add up. So we're going to have to look at this very carefully now. But that's definitely a different pattern. So we'll be able to distinguish between Rahul's by the triple digest from everybody else. And then Catherine, if we look at the triple digest plus the Echo SAC, we'll be able to distinguish. And then Aaron's will be able to distinguish with the triple digest and the Echo SAC. So if we do the Echo SAC triple digest on all 3 of them, we'll be able to distinguish. Excellent. Good work, Christy.
We've got them now.
For some of the plasmids, we actually have data for the Mucus Sac Digest. And those are shown here. And that actually helps in determining the final orientation.